Are we in entanglement territory? Are we Jada and Will in this situation?
Oh my gosh. Well, I related to that a little more than I'd like to admit.
First off, how are you?
I'm great. Dean just went down for a nap, so I'm having some mommy time, so I'm very good. I've gotten much more comfortable in this motherhood role because when we first started filming, it was all pretty new to me. And looking back, I'm just really proud of myself because I didn't really know what I was capable of. I didn't really understand just how much I could continue to grow and learn.
On the most recent episode, we saw, I would imagine, your first fight about motherhood with another mother. With Wendy.
So I don't have sympathy for her saying she's a new mother.
For your sympathy.
No,
I never
just
asked
don't.
for your sympathy. Can you mind your business?
This is my
Mind your house. Go FaceTime your kids and mind your business. I thought, this is going to be a great trip. And then when Wendy just lost her top, I was flabbergasted.
And it wasn't once, it was twice.
Correct.
No, I don't think that this warrants an apology. I don't.
That's why you don't have a lot of female friends, because this is...
No, I don't have a lot of female friends because I don't deal with fake bitches like you.
That's not
so
true.
Don't do it.
That's what makes her apology a little bit harder to accept, just because she didn't let it go in the moment, and even now she has to talk about it online. So, I do accept the apology, and what I hope that people in general learn is that we just have to be more supportive of each other, to just be more considerate of what another person is going through. And I hope Wendy learned her lesson too.
This is your first season as a mom.
Right.
And I know motherhood changes everything, but how did it change housewife life? Because I think I read that you thought, I can't do this. I can't be a mom and be a part of this show anymore.
Only because of the timing. I was 2 months postpartum when we started filming the show. And so I just didn't think I was ready. I didn't think that I would be able to be fully present with my friends. And the women really rallied together to help me feel more comfortable. And for them to come together and put their differences aside, which we know there are many, to put all of those aside and to be there for me, it reminded me that I do belong in this group.
So it was really the women who helped convince you it was possible to do both and to manage both.
Yes, it was definitely the ladies.
Think back 5 years. Would you ever think that this group of women that you walked into barely knowing anybody would become this circle that would lift you up in this way?
Oh my gosh. Talk about a revelation. I mean, when people say never, it is the most accurate saying, because I never thought that Karen and I would have bonded the way that we did, or, even that Robin and I would be as close as we are. But yes, this journey has not only been mine, but I've had quite a few passengers with me, and they've been really supportive.
You have already, in the 5 episodes we've seen, shared so much about your journey and your struggles. What have you learned about sharing so much?
It's actually been a really positive response. A lot of women, especially, I talked about having to get a Botox shot in my nether regions.
I do have a tear in my anus. My actual anus.
I had never before asked someone in an interview, but how are things? How's the tear, Ashley? Where are we at?
Yes, everything is good. The body goes through a lot of trauma after you have a baby. And that was just one of the many traumas. And I can say that I'm recovered.
I want to take it back a little to the serious note. Because in sharing on TV, you even shared that you had thoughts of suicide in your postpartum journey. How did you overcome those?
It was really shocking to actually understand and acknowledge that I was going through that in the first place. And I didn't really anticipate that this would be a journey that I would go down, that I would even begin to have those types of thoughts. But with the help of a counselor and talking to somebody who can help me come to terms with what I'm feeling and to help me see a different perspective, I was really able to see a brighter side. And I hope that I can just be a voice for it and encourage anyone who's experiencing it to get help. And if they can't afford help, that hopefully there are some resources for them.
I think you're going to help a lot of people by being so open and honest about it, because I think it is one of those things where we don't talk about it, but until we talk about it, it doesn't normalize it. Doesn't make it a thing that we feel comfortable talking about.
Yes, yes.
All right. Those are all the new experiences, but there is kind of a deja vu hanging over this season, Ashley.
Yes, I know, Bryce. I know. Yes.
The Michael stuff.
Your girl baby daddy was out last night at the strip club. He was in there with several strippers. What? He has a boyfriend and a wife. What? Who's baby daddy?
There hasn't been a season of this show where your marriage isn't called into question, where your personal life isn't up for discussion.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about what we're going to see this season, which I think kicks off in the next episode, really?
Yes, it does. Michael and I are an unconventional couple in many ways, and we have more hurdles to overcome than, in my opinion, other marriages. When people say that becoming parents can really change a relationship dynamic, I never thought that would be me. And so it's really just another way that we have to strengthen our relationship.
Some new allegations are brought up by Candiace, or make their way to Candiace. What are we going to see in terms of how you handled getting this news?
Candiace has said a lot of things that weren't true, so I didn't, I took it with a grain of salt. And then it unfolds, and boy does it unfold. I mean, there's like layers upon layers upon layers of it that unfolds.
Well, and somewhere in this unfolding these layers, we see you and Michael have a conversation about the state of things, about, it seems, these rumors, these allegations.
We ended up going back to a hotel.
And that feels different to me. This time we're going to see you confront it head on with him.
I'm truthful. And I know that can be a hard thing to believe, and that people want to think that we make up things and that there's all these facades around our relationship. But I really am truthful. The things that are true, I will talk about them. And if they're true, they're true.
You've admitted that Michael made a mistake here. We'll figure out how big of a mistake, I guess, and what the mistake was, but he made a mistake. Yes. Okay. Are we going to learn new things about your marriage and how it works because of these conversations?
I've shared a lot about my marriage in the past with the ladies, and the things that I talk about really shouldn't be a surprise because they all know me. They all know I'm not a conventional person, and I just don't think it's going to come as a shock to anybody.
Okay. I'm picking up on certain words you're using, unconventional, conventional. That leaves some room for interpretation here, Ashley. I mean, are we in entanglement territory? Are we Jada and Will in this situation?
Oh my gosh.
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I related to that a little more than I'd like to admit. I was like, man, Jada, I'm with you, girl. I get it. I mean, marriage is just so hard, and it's really hard being a public figure and having difficulties, and it's even more difficult when you decide to talk about them and say some things that aren't necessarily fitting the mold of what people think a marriage is or should be.
You and Michael, obviously, you're still together. Things are in a good place, it seems, now.
Oh my gosh, I love my husband. He's a great father. He's a great husband. And my relationship is going to withstand, it's strong enough to withstand a lot. And I'm sure there'll be some very strong reactions to what they see and what happens. But ultimately, the only person who really lays next to Michael at night and has to have these discussions is me.
So why does Google call him your ex-husband?
Oh my gosh, Google is so shady, okay? They have his age wrong, okay? And let me tell you, Google would not put my picture up for the longest time. So Google and I, we have a little tension, okay? So I don't care.
All right. The other thing hanging over this season, obviously, is the big altercation, the fight, which you were not there to see. You were in the bathroom, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. But yes, that's true.
So you come out of the bathroom and you walk into what?
Mayhem. In the purest sense of the word. I almost ran out of the bathroom with my pants and my ankles because so the way that the room was shaking, I thought someone was attacking us. So I'm first like, oh my gosh, like I got to get out. And then when I came out, I saw, a melee. I don't really know what I saw. Still, I really don't.
It feels like the audience is already on teams, has chosen sides. Team Candiace, Team Monique. Should the audience be taking sides?
I don't think it's about taking sides as much as it's about seeing what happened and just really trying to understand that these women were friends, and like, this is not UFC. It's not Tyson versus Holyfield. It's two women who just, it got out of hand.
Right. And obviously that altercation is going to not only change the course of this season, but probably the course of where Potomac goes season 6 and beyond. What do you think that looks like? How does this shake things up?
I personally have no clue what the fate is of our dynamic, of our group. I mean, Candiace is saying she doesn't want to be around Monique, and Monique saying she doesn't want to be around Candiace, and I'm like, well, what does that mean for all of us? We're just a nice dysfunctional family. You can't have people leaving the family, I will say that there has definitely been some strategic word usage and placement of interviews and things like that I personally have never thought to operate that way, but it's just this is a whole different animal.
Who are you calling out there? Are you saying Candiace, Monique, somebody else?
Well, no, I mean, I saw that, Candiace did an Instagram live where she said all this stuff and all these press outlets picked it up. I don't know, Monique is talking about it. They're two people who can, they are handling it the way that they want. Just different than what I would have done.
All right. We have a lot of season left to watch. So outside of your personal struggles, the altercation, what are you excited for the fans to experience the rest of this season?
That's a lot, hey?
Yeah.
I am really excited for everyone to just see how our group continues to change and continues to evolve. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing just stays the way it is. We all continue to grow and evolve. And sometimes for the best and, sometimes for the worst. But either way, we're always in motion.
Well, that's why you're the best Housewives franchise on TV.
Oh, we say that now one time with the people in the back. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
All right, my last question. The confessional wig from season 4. Where is it?
Yes.
Now? Where does it live?
First of all, I loved that wig. Thank you. Okay, it was not quite my vision, but it was still, it did its job. Anyways, all right, Bryce, I feel your shade. So, the wig, I actually gave it to my mom, who wore it to my baby shower, and the resemblance between us was ridiculous. Giselle actually recognized it first, and she was like, Ashley, is that your wig? And yes, it was my wig. So we looked like twins.
I will say the wig looks better in your Instagram than it did in the confessional.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Also, I mean, to be fair, I was like so bloated, and goodness knows what else was working against that wig, in terms of fluid and all types of craziness. But
I'm sure the last thing you wanted to do was sit down under hot lights with a microphone and be interrogated about your life at that moment. So
yes, I mean, I was super pregnant, and that's even why I wore the wig, because I didn't want anyone touching my hair. So I was like, just put a wig on this thing. So that's how it came about.
Now it's part of Housewives history. So
it's a little infamous, but you know what? I still love it. Okay. I still love it.